bench. Now, the big one, the Bulldogs. Sexton is back in the 7 jersey to partner the man who took it from him, Galvin. This is big news today after all the speculation. How do we see this, Crawls?
What took you so long? Seriously. You know, we watched the game on the weekend,
This is their grand plan, Crawls.
Did we watch the game on the weekend? You know, like we sat here for months and they've tried to convince everyone that Lachlan Galvin will mean more to their attack than Toby Sexton. Toby Sexton walks on the field. First touch, was it?
Yeah.
Scores a try, second touch goes through. Like, he completely changed the way the Dogs... Now, they were so courageous in that game. Yeah. They were, and they had to overcome so much adversity with Kickow's early injury and him leaving the field. Stephen Crichton, Tuala goes down in the second half, mate, and they pushed the Storm all the way. But Sexton was the bloke out there that took charge. He was the halfback. He was the chief playmaker. He not only straightened up their attack, he scored a try, he made runs, he took over the kicking duties. When the team was standing in a huddle after scoring, if you looked at what was happening, it was Sexton barking the orders, pointing the finger, telling everyone how we're going to do it. It was like Lachie Galvin was out there on work experience with him. Like, it seriously was. Like, he took charge of the team. He showed us why he should be the halfback in this side.
You know what I loved? I loved it unlocked Galvin. Like, it's the best Galvin's looked all year, and Burton as well. You know, you've got two similar players, I reckon, in Galvin and Burton. And as you said, you've got an organising halfback
this is the thing
inside them and look at how they play.
This is the thing that people just underestimate, is that we talk about Sexton, his kicking game, and how they just look like they need a genuine 7 in that team, because Galvin's not it. No. Now, most likely, when you've got a genuine 7, it's not so much about what they do, it's how they complement the men around them. You know, it's the balance. It's getting Kickow quality ball one-on-one with a half. It's getting Burton, Sherry and Crichton early ball or ball in a good moment when they've got time and space. See, everyone's focusing on Galvin. It's actually like, OK, put a genuine 7 in there and let everyone else around them flourish. I love this move. I love that he's made the call around. Of course, kind of had to be maybe Crichton out, but I give them a genuine chance now. I really do. I think they can beat Penrith.
Yeah, they got a guy that's going to get to the sets, get to the points on the field. Galvin's a runner, Burton's a runner, Tracy's a runner at the back. And I think Reid Marnie too, I would start him, right, to get through the first 20 minutes. You know what Penrith are going to do? They're going to try to bully you, blow you off the park, come through your front door, and then Haywood can come on. And that's what
we didn't mention that too, but Reid Marnie's named on the bench. So
I'd be starting him.
Yeah.
You know what?
I'd be starting.
You spoke about it last night. Young Haywood, good player of the future, but at this stage of his career, no one will convince me that he's a better dummy half than the other bloke. And you mentioned last night, 13 missed tackles. You can't have that. And you've got the other bloke there. It's a sudden death, knockout, elimination semi-final. Well, surely you've got to put your best team on the park.
More of a starter than a bench player. And Bailey can play a number of positions and come on when the defence is tiring, and he can weave his magic because he's a good ball player, late footwork, and he's got more speed than Marnie. It's a no-brainer for me, and I think if they do start Reid, that they'll be better off for it, especially against Penrith early.
And further to it is that in the extended bench is a bloke called Stephen Crichton, who we thought at the end of that game he's no chance of playing again. Yeah. But the fact he's been named on that bench. So if Stephen Crichton, let's just say a miracle happens.
That's mind games, isn't it?
Who knows?
That's what it feels like.
It probably is, because they've played so many mind games with us this year, you wouldn't know. But let's just say hypothetically, Crichton was to make a miracle come back and play. What is your halves combination,
Well, that's a good question. That's my halves combination.
You'd stick with Galvin and...
All I know is that I'd have Sexton at 7. And whatever you do...
I'd probably have
5'8".
Burton, so do you stick
Burton at 6 and Galvin as
14.
As a 14. That's what I'd do.
Yeah.
100%, no question.
So 14 then is not Bailey Haywood? Because if you're starting Reid...
That's a good question.
You know what I mean? Like, it changes everything.
It's been their problem all year. They're just as one man out. There's one odd man out.
But did it have to be a problem all year? Because it wasn't a problem.
This is the point.
With the
hole again.
All these changes, right?
Every
all
time
these
on this show,
changes.
that's all we talk about.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? People, I won't talk about what the ratings are like when we talk about him, because they are interested in it because it's fascinating. But Reedy's had this big thing about the long-term plan, and he's played it hard, right? But while they're planning for the long term, have they taken their eyes off the short term and possibly cost themselves a premiership? He's been big on that. And I was talking to Rennie Matua, who's an we won the comp together in 04, and you know, we actually look back at it, we go, we only had a couple, like 1, 2, even in a team that we had, chances of winning a premiership. And you look at even the Dragons in 2010, South, when they won the comp in 2014, was it? Now, I never knew Gordy. The window for premierships are so small. And when you get that window, they'll come in first.
Yeah.
You know, like, I just, it's amazing when you see, and it's not a surprise to me this story's so big.
Yeah, and Penrith, I don't know how they've jammed that window open, but they jammed it open for like 4 years. But it's going to be a small window. Where they were, I'm just looking at where they were halfway through the year. It wasn't broke, and then when they put it in, they might have got it right, but they haven't. So I think it's the smartest move
this time of the
for the
year
Dogs
too.
fans and the Dogs moving forward for this game.
In this season in particular, like we've all spoken about the fact that it's probably the closest competition that we can recall. And there is no genuine standout team, and they're one of the 6 that are still
agree.
fighting for the premiership. So why worry about next year?
Yeah.
Worry about now.
Win it this year and next.
Yeah.
It's
But you know what, like, we haven't really spoken about too, is that there's a number of teams that are stumbling a little bit.
Yeah.
So the floodgates are opening, and if they
Steve
just stuck to
Bradbury's.
their guns, who knows how they'd be sitting right now. They could be one out, one back. Instead, they're one of those teams.
the best coaches in the history of the game have always been able to put they've all had big egos, but they've all been able to put it to the side for the betterment of the team. And if Cameron Serraldo and Gus can do that, if this looks like it's the best way forward this season, then they've got to stick with that.
You mentioned Gus. Have we heard anything about what role he's playing there at the moment? Is he letting it all? Is he letting the coach Serrato just take control? He's got a bit of history. Everyone knows
Footage of him
that.
there doing some golf
Yeah, mate, he was
today.
practicing his golf swing today.
Is that new or old? Obviously.
I
No, but
don't know,
honestly,
it looked
Remy,
like, yeah.
honestly, what's his role? Because you talk to people at Penrith, right? You talk to people at Penrith, and lately I did, and it was fascinating to hear their take, right? And you hear all the stories, and you've written a book on it.
With Ivan.
With
Cleary.
Ivan, yeah.
Yeah, Ivan knew he was in trouble when Gus was
There he is, look at that.
just sitting there in the stands and watching for the whole session. That's always an ominous sign. So I don't know. Don't have enough of an in at Canterbury to know the relationship between the two of them. I do know that when I've spoken to Cameron Serraldo even this year about Gus, he says he's been a massive support for him. So
Well, of course.